We got a fellow Chiefs fan. I guess a Chiefs Sixers fan, I guess. Question from @InsideArrowhead on Twitter. Is it fair to say that the season would be a failure if they don't win a championship, or is it a success just by making it to the Eastern Conference Finals?
You may go ahead again, or you want to go ahead? You go ahead.
I'll go. Yes, it's a failure if they don't win a championship. Yes.
Ooh.
It's a bigger failure if we don't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Bigger failure. But just making it to the Eastern Conference Finals would show that you did better, but it will not be any happy people. Just make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, because we've seen what the teams that have won the last couple of years. We've seen the teams that have gone. We've seen the Miami Heat go to the finals. I mean, we've seen Boston go to the finals. So I think the only thing outside of a championship is going to the finals and losing in the finals. And sometimes it comes down to how you lose in the finals too.
True.
So I would say, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Finals or bust. Wouldn't even necessarily say championship, but finals.
Going to the finals.
I don't think you have Maxey and Joel, and you pay all those guys, and you pay Paul, and give him 4 years to say that, hey, Eastern Conference Finals is fine. That can't be the approach.
I agree it's not the goal just to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, but personally for me as a fan, I would not see it as a total failure. It's year one. So I'm not – we have these guys on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it's year one, and the guy that you gave money is getting older. He's not in his prime. Yeah. So year one is very important. Year one could be your best chance.
They got to get it together quick then, don't they? So,
but I'm just saying, year one could be your best chance.
It could be. But the team that our biggest rival are older than us, and they're getting older. So, Boston, Drew's not getting any younger, and Porzingis' injuries aren't getting any less. So that's a problem for them too. So as we get older, so are other teams.
Yeah, but the difference is they went to a final, and they went to 2 finals, and they won a championship. And we're talking about the Eastern Conference Finals. What do you think Boston's goal is?
Well, now they won.
What do you think? I'm just saying. Well, what do you think Boston and Milwaukee would think is a failure for their team?
Both those teams have already won a championship, though.
That's my point. So their failure is not winning a championship, and our failure is supposed to be just not making it to the Eastern Conference Finals. But them 2 teams are the team we're competing against.
But it's an improvement from what we've done, right? Like if they don't win, that's
an
less
improvement with the same team. We don't have the same team. It's a different outlook.
But I could also say that's an excuse as to why we wouldn't win. It's a brand new team yet again, right?
No, you're not making them changes. You're not making them changes to stay where you at. With a brand new team, you're making those changes to. You're making those changes to. But no. You're making those changes to accelerate where you are.
Yeah,
and go further.
Difference. 2 rounds difference.
That's what I said. That's why I said the finals could be okay, just making it to the finals and losing in the finals. But I don't think Eastern Conference Finals and losing the Eastern Conference Finals is a successful year. I don't think with this team that's a successful year.
But going to the Eastern Conference Finals it's a 2-round upgrade, though, right? That's something Joel's never done before.
2-round upgrade from last year.
Yeah, well, last year, yeah. Yeah, last year. Yeah.
So I'm just saying, but we've had number 1 seeds and didn't get to the Eastern Conference Finals. That's why we're saying the Eastern Conference Finals is such a upgrade. But that it's not because we didn't get to the Eastern Conference Finals because the team that was supposed to get there with home court advantage didn't make it happen.
Yeah.
So since they didn't make it happen, now we're gonna make it seem like it's great for somebody to come later and do what they should have done.
Well, I'm not saying it's great. I'm just saying it's not a total failure.
It's not. That's like with Paul George right now at this part of his career, and Joel with his, let's say it, his injury history.
Yeah.
And we got a young guy, Maxey. For us to say that not winning a championship or not going to the finals is okay, like I don't know. I'm right where Milwaukee and Boston are. That's our main competition in the Eastern Conference. And I know for a fact, and I don't talk to anybody on their team, anybody in their organization, but I know from watching that I guarantee you their goal is to win the NBA championship, and anything less than that is not considered good. That would be something like a disappointment.
Yeah.
Going to the East, I guarantee you, just making it to the Eastern Conference Finals with those teams would not be considered.
Win.
I'm just saying, if you make it to the Eastern Conference Finals and you're Boston, and what you've just done, or you're Milwaukee and you win and got Dame and you got Giannis, just make it to the Eastern Conference Finals with all those guys. Let's assume everybody's healthy and those guys are healthy, and you just make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, oh man, we tried. Boston was just better than us. That's no.
I mean, I think I'll be disappointed if we don't. But
I'm just saying, but how are we failure? How are we saying we want to? How are we saying we want to win a championship? But it's not a disappointment if we don't make it.
It's disappointment. It's a disappointment. I don't think it's a total failure, though. I think there's a difference. If I don't,
well, it kind of depends on what you can. Yeah, Well, that being said, going to the second round can be considered not a failure.
That's something that Joel's done, though,
because
right?
You're doing something that I'm just saying, but you're doing something that more than half of the teams. I understand it, but what I'm saying is you're doing something that only 8 teams in the league do when you go to the second round.
Yeah, it's an improvement from last season.
So I'm just saying,
not enough for me, though. That's what I'm saying.
22 teams didn't do what you did if you went to the second round. But we're saying that's a failure.
Yes.
So, okay, that's what I'm saying. So you still did better than 22 teams because by going to the second round, and you're telling me one more round is better, and that's not.
It's something Joel's never done before. So yeah, that would be a
so that's just because that's the thinking of a team that's never made it.
Yeah, we have kind of a loser mentality. Yeah, so
that's what I'm saying. So the thinking of a team that's never made it. So you can't tell me a team that's made it will ever think like that. So why should we think like that?
I would just like to do at least better than Joel has ever done before with this 76ers. And if we make it to the Eastern Conference Finals and you say the next year's a failure if we don't go to the finals, then I would totally agree with that because I want to at least do better than what we did. That's why I'm saying it's not a failure. Do I want to win? Am I disappointed if we don't? Yeah, no, I am.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say is how you look at it. Like failure is such a strong word. So
it is
failure,
a strong word.
I think it's a strong word. So I think it becomes down to the individual and how they consider it. Because what I'm saying, because some teams making the playoffs is not considered a failure. So each round you go, it kind of depends on who you are. Golden State Warriors team last year was a team that didn't get in the playoffs, or you know what I'm saying, but they were around their seed the majority of the year. So people are judging them based on what they did previously. So it's other teams that were right there with them that wouldn't be considered a failure. But for them, it was.
Yeah, I think when you can look around and say the cliche, no excuses, we would have an excuse. It's a brand new team. That is
That's not an excuse, though. That's not an excuse because
Boston has
technically
zero
Boston,
excuses.
so
Boston has zero.
so Boston was a technically a new team also.
They added a couple players. They didn't revamp.
Yeah, two of their starting five were new guys.
Two starters.
Dude, our third longest tenured Sixer. Hold on. Our third longest tenured Sixer is Kelly Oubre right now. He's only been with us for a year, dude.
Starters. They added 2 starters.
Yeah, Drew and KP were a big part of that reason why they won that championship.
We added players 4 for the 14.
I'm not knocking what we did. I'm saying Boston was considered a new team also as well. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. No, they were. We're even more revamped than them, though. We took that to another degree, right?
We got 2 new starters also.
Yeah, our entire bench is brand new. Everybody. No one played for us last year. We have no continuity at all with our bench.
Lowry.
He might be our second string point guard. Maybe we'll see. We got a lot of competition at point guard.
I understand that, but we can't sit up here.
Wait, hold on. Lowry showed up like 3 weeks before the season ended. What?
We can't sit up here and say that we went and got our free agent prize and then come back and say, well, we got a different team. That don't sound right.
No, it's not going to feel good. But I mean, now the next season is absolutely no excuses at all because you've been together for a year.
So a year older for Paul is the expectation is higher
than a 4-year deal, man. We have him for 4 years.
I'm just saying. So a year older at 35 or 35 instead of 34 or 36 instead of 35, the expectation is going to be that he's going to do more.
Yes, totally. 100%.
I will say
he must be drinking that LeBron James juice or something. I don't know, man.
I hope so. Maybe hopefully his usage goes down a little bit so we can keep him fresh. Him and Joel.
Well, he started the no sugar diet this offseason, so hopefully that bodes well for him.
There you go.
I will say I feel like our franchise has made it kind of like put this whole getting past the second round like on like its pedestal. Like I mean, Nick Nurse mentioned that in his introductory press conference that he wants to, his main goal is obviously win a championship, and to do that is to get past the second round. So I feel like because of those type of comments, Embiid obviously never making it past, I feel like that is like for I guess for fans to kind of rationalize a season, like, oh, well, at least we made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I feel like that. I think if we get to that point, at least I feel like the fan base won't be as toxic as they usually are when the season ends. If we did get to that, I would say I would take that as a win. But yeah, obviously I want to win a championship or at least get to the finals. But what do you make of that, Eric? The fact that the team itself places such an emphasis on the getting past the second round portion of things. Do you think that helps with kind of that kind of, I don't know if it hurts the narrative of the seasons and stuff, but like, do you think that's they place such an emphasis on that where that's become like the pinnacle for us?
What's that? Say it again.
Like making it a past second round, how the franchise talks about that way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think everyone that kind of pay attention and cheer and root for the Sixers are very aware of what we did previously. You know what I'm saying? Like we're all aware of it. Right. So that becomes the focus because just like in life, we all want to be better and do better. So you want to see the improvement. So that seems to always be the bar for your next season or your next venture. So that's an easy kind of target. We just unfortunately have had the same target for consecutive years. And that's why I'm saying, unlike Teja, that should no longer be the target. With the way things went down and what we did and what we're trying to do, the target should be above that and beyond that. But I do understand how someone would say, hey, we hadn't made it past the second round, so we've improved. because they kind of feel like we've done something that we hadn't done since Joel been there. But I know it's no guarantee once you go that you'll go back to next year. Every time I went, I didn't go back to next year. And I went with every team I played on. And every time I went to the finals, I never returned to next year.
Let me also make it clear, too. I'm a fan saying that. I don't think anyone on the team, coach, player, second round should not be coming out of any of their mouths. They need to be championship or bust mentality. Whether I, as a fan, am happy with going.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. When I was speaking more of how I see it.
Yeah, no. I know. No, I was talking about
sure the
players
what Nurse
said.
Have like they
Yeah, but Nurse even like
they believe that
second round in his journey. Just
no, I believe that they'll come out and we want to win the championship. I think that'll be the talk.
It has to be.
It has to be the talk. I mean, you can't shoot for anything less. But I do feel that they have to kind of make sure that that's the common goal.
Yeah.
But because your top competition in the Eastern Conference going into the season, we all know that that's where they are.
Yep. And they've all been there, Milwaukee and Boston. Yeah. All right, so we have a final question here, and that question was from @InsideArrowhead on Twitter. Appreciate the question.